Okay, let's talk about Canada's retirement system. For a lot of people, it feels like this big, confusing maze. But today, we're going to give you the map. We're going to break down the three main government benefits, CPP, OAS, and GIS, by looking at what really makes them tick. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll finally get the why behind the what. And this, right here, is exactly why we need to talk about this. This quote isn't just a random fact, it's a serious warning. A simple mix-up about how these programs work could literally cost you hundreds of dollars every single month for the rest of your life. So yeah, getting this right isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. All right, if you remember one thing from this entire explainer, make it this slide. CPP, OAS, and GIS are not the same thing. They each run on a completely different engine. CPP is all about your work. OAS is about your time spent in Canada. And GIS is about your income level. I'm going to say that again. Work, residency, and income. Just about every expensive mistake people make comes from confusing these three simple ideas. So why focus so much on the logic? Well, because the dollar amounts for these benefits, they change all the time with inflation. But the core rules of the game, the logic, that stays the same. If you can master that logic, you'll be set to make smart decisions for your retirement, no matter what the numbers say 10 or 20 years from now. You know, this is exactly where people get into trouble. They just assume all three benefits follow the same rules. They might think, oh, I earned a lot of money, so my OAS will be bigger. Or, I never worked, so I guess I don't get OAS. Both of those are totally wrong. It's like trying to play chess using the rules for checkers. You're just not going to win. Okay, let's start with the big one. The Canada Pension Plan, or CPP. This is the one most of us are familiar with because we see it coming off our pay stubs. It's super straightforward. CPP is a direct result of your work. The more you work and contribute over the years, the bigger and stronger that foundation is going to be when you retire. This quote just nails it. It points out a huge mental trap people fall into. Think of your CPP as the concrete foundation of your retirement house. It's solid, it's crucial, you absolutely need it. But it's not the whole house. If you mistake that foundation for the finished home, you're setting yourself up for a very, very uncomfortable retirement. And that brings us to the million-dollar question, or, maybe more like the tens of thousands of dollars question. You can start taking your CPP as early as 60, at the standard age of 65, or delay it all the way to 70. But here's the thing. Whatever you decide permanently changes your monthly payment for life. So what's the smarter move? This chart really lays out the trade-off, doesn't it? If you take your CPP at 60, you get money sooner, but you're locking in a permanently smaller monthly payment. If you can wait until 70, you are seriously supercharging your monthly income, and that higher amount is yours forever. This isn't just about timing. It's a decision that echoes in your bank account every month for the rest of your life. So the bottom line is this. When you start CPP is a one-time choice with permanent consequences. Grabbing that cash early might feel good in the moment, but you could be leaving a ton of money on the table over the long haul. And remember, this income is inflation protected for life, which is a huge deal. All right, let's move on to the next pillar, old age security, or OAS. And for this one, you need to completely switch your thinking. Forget about your job. OAS has nothing to do with your work history. It's based on one thing and one thing only. How many years you've lived in Canada after you turned 18. A totally different engine. But OAS has this kind of hidden trap that a lot of retirees walk right into. It's called the clawback. And it's exactly what it sounds like. If you make too much money in retirement, the government can start to claw back or take back some of your OAS payments. It's a financial landmine you really need to be aware of. And here's the kicker. It's not just about some big pension. We're talking about really common retirement income sources. Taking money out of your RSP, getting rent from a property you own, or even just selling some stocks. Any of these can push you into that clawback zone, sometimes without you even noticing until it's too late. So what can you actually do about it? Well, first, diversify where your money comes from. For example, any money you pull from a TFSA is tax-free and totally invisible to the clawback calculation. Second, try to plan ahead for big income spikes, like if you're going to sell a cottage. And third, if you're a couple, income splitting can be a really powerful tool to help both of you stay under that clawback threshold. Okay, our third and final pillar is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, or GIS. You can think of this one as the unsung hero of Canada's retirement system.
It's not for everybody, but for the people who need it, GIS is an absolute lifeline. It's a true financial safety net for our low-income seniors. So, what is GIS exactly? It's a non-taxable benefit that tops up the income of low-income seniors who are already getting OAS. It's not based on your past work, it's not based on residency, it's based purely on your current income. It really is a safety net, plain and simple. And this is the part that's just heartbreaking. So many seniors who are really struggling to get by just don't know that GIS even exists. Or maybe they assume they don't qualify. They're leaving money on the table, money that could seriously improve their quality of life. It's a real tragedy of awareness. So, we've taken the system apart and looked at each of the three pillars. Now, let's put it all back together. Because the real magic happens when you understand how these three different pieces are designed to fit together and create your total government retirement income. A really great way to picture this is as a retirement stack. Your CPP, which comes from your work, is the foundation. On top of that, you add your OAS, the base layer you get from residency. And then, for those who need it, GIS comes in as a third support layer right on top. Each piece has its own unique job to do. So from now on, let's try to change the conversation. Instead of just asking, how much am I going to get? Let's start asking these much smarter questions. When you understand the how and the why behind the system, you go from being a passenger to being the driver of your own retirement plan. And that's how you get from confusion to confidence. Now, a quick but really important reminder. This explainer is all about giving you a solid understanding of how the system works, but everybody's financial picture is unique. So please use this information as your starting point, and then go talk to a qualified professional who can give you advice that's tailored specifically for you. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you understand the three different engines of Canada's retirement system, where's your biggest potential blind spot? Is it the permanent impact of starting your CPP too early? Is it that sneaky OAS clawback trap? Or is it maybe missing out on the life-changing support of GIS? It's something worth thinking about.